aggressive people don't love conflict. They're just not afraid of it. You think about that. They don't love the conflict. They're just not afraid of the conflict. People that don't like conflict and are afraid of conflict, they operate differently than a person that doesn't mind conflict. And usually a person that doesn't mind conflict is painted in a way that's negative, right? So if you think about that and you're interacting in relationships, that's why being aware of yourself, having self-awareness, understanding who you are is very powerful to having healthier relationships. Because I guarantee you, I would never pick a person that's passive. I would never pick a person that cannot say what they want. Because you never know where you're standing with them. And are they going along to get along? Are they genuinely afraid? Because, there's a difference in... I'll give you an example of a lesson I learned years ago when I was finding the path back to my own self and understanding who I was. So I had a friend who I admired a lot. She was very demure and quiet, and she seemed to operate from a base of just solid dignity. Like, she was very confident and quiet, and I was getting messages in my family life that being quiet was the way you're supposed to be, and being me was not the way you're supposed to be. Talkative and engaging and outspoken and debating and open and, interrupting people and jumping on in there. That was not acceptable in the situation I was having in my life at that time. So, of course, I was admiring this other person because my self-esteem wasn't where it needed to be. And I remember we were in this circle of women. We just got together with a group of women, a group of mothers, or something was happening where it was just a group of women in the room. We were all talking. And I feel like it was at my house, in my living room, my old house, the first house we ever built. And I remember looking at that friend and thinking to myself, oh, she's afraid to speak. And I remember saying to myself at that time, there's a difference in being afraid to speak and choosing not to speak. People who are choosing not to speak for a healthy, solid reason are usually operating from a base of more confidence. I'm not saying that people that choose not to speak aren't nervous. I'm not saying that people that choose not to speak don't have some insecurities. But there's a difference in when you're just quiet because you're just afraid and you're shy, or you're worried, or you don't know what to do, or you're debilitated, or whatever your reasons are. Just pick whatever reason fits for the reason why you're not speaking. That's based in fear. And I remember I chose not to be impressed or put her on a pedestal any further after that day. Because I'm really admiring people who are choosing not to speak, because that was something I would struggle with. Because I overspoke. So when I was insecure and nervous, I overspoke and talked all the time, and even more, and even worse, and even craziness, right? But I think that what I really do respect and understand and admire from a personal standpoint are people that choose to speak, and they're choosing to interact and engage from a place of confidence and not necessarily from a place of insecurity. So that's what goes back to some of the things that I teach around. You can do the same behavior and the root of the behavior look totally different. Two people not speaking in a room doesn't necessarily equal they're so confident, calm, and respectful. But that's what we're conditioned to believe, though, right?